Welcome back to another episode of the Artifex podcast. Today we are joined by the wonderful and immensely talented Kairan and Earle. We have a chance to sit down with them in conversation regarding their upcoming music, their upcoming videography, and the inspirations and influences which inform their creative styles, both respectively and together.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Kairan and Earle. Genuinely such a lovely conversation. We feel very fortunate to sit down with them at this point in their career, especially the quality that they're putting out at the moment. So definitely watch what they're doing, check them out. All their socials will be in the description. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah, cheers guys. Welcome back to episode 9 of the Artifex podcast. Today we are here with the wonderful Kairan and the wonderful Earle. Welcome. Just give us a little bit of background about yourself, boys, what your creative passions and like what you work on are, and yeah. Sorry, that was a bit of a weird one, but yeah, go on.
You go first.
I'm Kairan, and I do like videography, a lot of events videography at the minute, and low-key make music.
Low-key?
And yeah, that's about it. Cinematographer.
Nice.
Bit of editing.
What kind of instruments do you play?
Instruments. Currently, main instrument is like guitar.
Nice.
Cool.
Bit of singing, and then bass.
Nice.
As well. Yeah.
Much instrumentalist. Go on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That seems to be a theme on the podcast.
Yeah, it does.
And
We should try and do
yourself?
that.
I'm basically the copy and paste minus the singing, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, like in like cinematography, you do more event work than I do, but like music production and everything.
Wicked.
Yeah,
Right.
basically same person.
Well, you look different, so that's good at least. So, how did you guys start like working together? I suppose is what we're going to first ask. Like, how did you get together? When? Why? How did you meet in the first place? Yeah.
Well, we go to the same university, and we met we lived together currently. Yeah, so we kind of just got shoved in a random group chat by our university, and was just like, pick accommodation, and we
didn't meet till we were living together.
Like we didn't have any intro or anything. It's just like, oh, you live next door to me. So it's just like, and then kind of since then we've just like, obviously living together, we can't escape each other, so may as well get along. May as well be mates. But we're just the initial kind of thing was just speaking about music, everything that we like, and we shared a lot in common, especially with like work ethic and like areas of media that we're interested in. And then it was all.
I think when we decided to work together, I don't know if you remember, we went out, and I think we got quite drunk, and we were like, we're gonna make like a business together. It was like, it wasn't even like before that we had like this conversation, but from that point on, our whole like relationship had just completely changed. That night.
Well, we went to Lost Horizons, which is like 5 minutes from us. That was the
it's a good venue.
Like that was like the BC and the let moment. But it was like we went there. We went to watch a group called Space Jams.
Nice.
Who are really good. And we were there. We were just kind of chopping it up, chatting, because like I think we kind of realized that we needed to have like an icebreaker moment. So we were like, let's just go and get pissed. So we went to that, and then we just kind of got speaking, and we're just realized that we're both very similar people in like how we approach things,
and we want like
the same
thing.
Sick.
Strictly speaking, like visuals, because that's how I met Kairan in the first place. I guess I'm phrasing this for both of you and answer individually. You both have quite established styles, and when I checked out, I was like really impressed. In the first point, it was like it seemed like both of you been in the game for like way longer than I thought. I was like, fucking hell, this is proper stuff, and it was really fresh seeing that like so well formed at this point. It's really, really cool. So maybe first, you've got a bit more of the sort of like 90s, 2000s aesthetic. You've got some fisheye sort of especially at the events and stuff, and also in the skate videos. What's the inspiration behind that, and what's your drive? And then I guess it would be the same.
Well, for me personally, like I've been making videos since I was about 13, and it started out on just like my phone, which the quality sucked, but I quite liked that. And as a kid, like my granddad would always like be filming like me and my brother or like my mum and that. So like I always like it's very just like it's quite similar to a lot of people. I think like they were, you know, growing up in the 2000s, everyone had a little camcorder. Yeah. So I think I just love replicating that, and I think it's just like the nostalgia feeling that I really like. And then in terms of like the fisheye and stuff like that, and the real love for like the 2000s and like the 90s aesthetic kind of came from just like skating. Like I've been skating since I was about 13 as well, and I'm not very good, but I don't tell people I've been skating since I was 13. I'd be like, yeah, I picked it up last year, but yeah, like like just watching old skate videos, and like I think the big changing point for me, like in terms of like my own style, when I was like want to take filming seriously, came from a movie called Mid-90s. Like that
Jonah Hill,
that changed my life. Like as corny as it is to say that as a skater, like it changed the way I like looked at films and was like, you know, like, oh, these guys are like me, like I can do it as well. It was very one of them moments, but yeah, that really influenced my style. I think just skating, my granddad's camcorder, and then that's about it.
Yeah, that's quite a nice sphere of influence.
To
inform you what you are.
Which is not, I don't know if it's the same style necessarily. No, it's
just about your style, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like films and stuff, because prior to meeting Kai, the whole music side of everything and like music videos and everything wasn't my end goal. In my head, I wasn't even thinking of like taking music anywhere or like expanding. And then it was all to do with like film production, as in like cinema, like as in I was gonna go into some sort of job within film production, and that all came from like being like 9, watching RoboCop, like watching some real like 80s, just like not taking itself too serious. Like I enjoy those films more. Like if you ask me what my favorite film is compared to like you see The Godfather or whatever, the standard, like it'd be like Dumb and Dumber or like something like just something where you know that the whole crew had fun. It's like this whole like full circle thing where you know that everyone was having the best time on it,
and it shines so much through the film as
well.
You can tell how much fun they're having.
And then to be fair, the style came like, because I know in my, I don't know if I'll be able to explain like the style, but when I was in college, that's when everything started to click, and I was starting to make consistent films, which were like very.
You got a very clean style.
Yeah,
that's what I saw from the video. We just watched,
mine are quite gritty and noisy, and yours are very like beautiful.
But that's where I'm hoping to shift things. I hope we shake up the style of what we make. But I'm trying to like. It's like I've never had to like explain the style, but it's I've been told by my lecturers and everything. I can connect it to Guy Ritchie. I see a lot of like my own traits within Guy Ritchie, and what else would I say?
Edgar Wright as well.
Edgar Wright, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, because you've got transitions, like it feels like you're not really
Edgar
wasting
Wright.
any
I'd say
space.
more so Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
But then, what we're trying to do now is, I think we're trying to create something new by meshing like
just like a mishmash of all the different styles that we
So on that, what's the collaboration? What's the, because you go again, 2 established styles, 2 interesting backgrounds. How do these 2 meld together? Because it's a lot of different angles with the music and the camera work and production generally. So what for both of you is that collaboration? Sorry.
I think like for us, like the kind of way that we've always made things, like as we were saying before, like never really wanted to go anywhere with the music. Like I was kind of in the similar boat with everything that I made. I've kind of always been making things, like even as a kid. Like I was very much more into like creativity and stuff like that rather than like being a sport guy or whatever. So I think it's just like we kind of had the attitude of we make things because it's fun. And but like we we
go any further than that.
Yeah, we take that into things, but I think with like mishmashing styles and stuff like that, it'd just be the case of I think we're still figuring it out, but I do think that when we connect, we do have a specific style. Like yesterday, recording this, we worked on a film with a guy called Daniel Markey. He's a very, very good creative. And
shout out to Daniel.
Yeah, shout out to Daniel. I've got to shout him out. But yeah, and we worked with him on a project called Make Wires Great Again, which is basically he hates AirPods and likes wires more and thinks that everyone should use wires. Whole premise of the film, very funny, very
two
like,
pages,
like 2-page script, very like what you were saying, like everyone had fun making it and it's going to be a fun watching experience. And for that we used a lot of like very wide shots, but very like close up to the face, so it looks like very warped and very just like funny.
It looks animated. It looks like I compare it to like it almost reads as a comic. Like it's very animated, and the camera work, like you got very big subjects, like the actors take up like
or the whole screen. I think with myself, like I think a lot of the style that I originally had was I was very drawn to kind of shit that would make people sad, like in terms of like filmmaking. I was very into like Normal People, like an After Sun or like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, stuff like that. And then
great movie.
I love them films so much. And like I think coming to Bristol, my initial challenge, like kind of mantra was like I want to make stuff like that, and I have ish. But I think since meeting you, like he had a very different like approach to films that I've like, because like you're saying like like you really like films where people have fun, and I'm sure people have fun making Eternal Sunshine.
I'm just talking to you about Sharknado. And
but it's a very different style. So I think like for myself, it was good to kind of just like relax a bit, and just not feel the need to like be like, I'm feeling sad, so everyone else has to feel
It's
sad.
like just like carrying the weight of the subjects you're trying to actually put across.
It's extremely hard, that. I think like especially if it's like the first time doing it or whatever. I've done a few films that are around like male mental health, and the one thing when I was at uni that my lecturers would say, they'd be like, basically, because I was doing a photography course, if you're gonna do moving image, it's either like all or nothing. Like you're either going to get it spot on about the subject, or it's going to be completely off. So the doing the melancholic stuff is amazing, and if you really have a visual style that you want to like get down, it could be something beautiful. But it can simultaneously just seem like bedroom, someone with black and white filter crying out the window. Obviously that's not going to be the case, but it's I was the same in my photography, very similar. And the more and more I embraced like fun and like being really like just open to like subjects and different subjects, it became a lot more enjoyable.
Definitely. I think it's been good to like just chill out a bit, not take everything so seriously. Like when I pick up a camera, I'm like, how am I gonna make someone feel like shit?
Exactly.
Like, it's just kind of like, because and I think especially like looking elsewhere in like terms of like where I draw my inspiration from, like a lot of like people in London, like Gabriel Moses and like Walid Labri and stuff like that. A lot of the people that are in charge of the advertising for Cortez, they are like amazing, and they make very fun films, and that's a lot of the inspiration that we drew for Make Wires Great Again, which we did yesterday.
We hadn't shot anything like that until yesterday,
and I think that we were speaking about it, and we were saying that that's very gonna be like setting our style, because I think I have my style, you have your style, but when we come together, it's like like a fusion.
I love that.
Nice.
And I think that was really fun.
But I think that's what's also nice about starting up this production company, is that we're not shying away from inspiration. I know that a lot of people want to start up something. Obviously you have your originality in certain like areas, like maybe us like together our like chemistry might be different, like whatever, it will draw attention, but the thing that we're very open about is like we really like something, so we're just gonna make it.
Yeah, amazing.
So we haven't actually shied away from being like, someone's done something that we really like.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to be on board with and take
That's
those.
good. You just want to have like the energy behind it, doing the things you want.
Yeah. And it's like, if you're saying like you don't take inspiration from them, what are you making?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, all art is recreating.
Yeah,
It's already been done. Obviously, there's originality, but
it's just like a recycling.
Exactly.
Well, apart from this
everything.
podcast,
No,
completely original and
no.
authentic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Never seen
been
anything
done
like it before. What about? So you brought up there your production company. I was going to be like, what kind of variety of projects and things have you got coming up? So yeah, what's the production company and like what's the premise and like the scope of what you want to do within it?
Do you want me to? Yeah.
I don't mind.
No, it's all cool.
Back and forth.
We've seen Raw Koffee as like,
That's the production company.
Yeah, that's the
so-
Raw Koffee.
yeah.
Raw Coffee.
Yeah,
Right.
Raw Koffee. We've like, it's like just been this open conversation, like, and I think when we decided to buy the domain and everything, we were like, okay, we need to get our like shit together, basically. And basically pin down what it is we're going to be doing. But then that quickly changed into like, what is there we're not doing? So we wanted to do like music videos, short films.
I think like the thing like with like Raw Koffee, what we kind of want to do with it is just for it to be like
a breathing thing.
Yeah, as corny as it sounds, like for it to just be limitless. Like I think maybe calling it a production company might be like give people like the false impression, because it's not really like, I think we just want it to be like a name to attach to everything, just like an umbrella term.
It's like a portfolio basically.
Like because like we were kind of saying like if we want to shoot a music video, we'll shoot a music video and then just say it's a Raw Koffee production. If we want to make an album, it's under Raw Koffee. If we want to
we're talking coffee shops. We were talking
we were talking about, you know, if we ever wanted to like premiere a video or premiere a bunch of like artists, like we do it in a coffee shop.
That's such a good idea.
We're thinking about doing coffee as well. Which is long down the line. We're not like trying to tackle that right now.
But we were just I think my current like ideology behind it is just kind of like I personally want it to be, it's kind of still very much in the works and like not something that we could probably like properly promote, because there's not really too much to promote at the minute. It's still an idea.
Soon though.
But we kind of like, I personally want it to just be like an umbrella for like a bunch of different artists. Like I want to make a magazine out of it and just kind of it be almost like just a book of like adverts, like in terms of like, well, not actually, but just that sounds really boring. But
Hello Fresh.
Squarespace.
Hey, we need those
Honey,
sponsors.
Amazon, and just
That's like the worst one. Just went straight to like
just
the
as
It's
like,
just, you know, it's infested your brain when that's like
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
one that comes to my head. It's like,
just get that coming from my letterbox every day.
Netflix.
genuinely.
I just want it to be like just anyone that I like, you know, put you in the magazine. I want to work with you, so come work with me, and just that kind of thing. But that's kind of the basis behind it.
Kind of a similar vibe to what we're
It's
doing with
definitely-
Artifex. So you better not steal our idea.
I was actually, I don't know if you saw, I was taking notes.
Oh, those bits later. But yeah, like that's sick, and like I think places like Bristol and like just creative areas in general, they need people to be helping other creatives, because I don't know how easy it was to be creative 50 years ago, but I feel like, I don't know, I've heard stories.
It's different. I think it's different.
Yeah,
It's kind of like crabs in a bucket at the moment.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of competition because everyone wants to succeed, but I think collaboration is maybe a better way to go about it, because if we can all help each
Everyone
other
wins
rather than
in the end of the day,
exactly.
because it's like if you create a strong piece, it's like, well, that's not going to be labeled on one person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're setting up whoever was involved.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's also the thing. It's like a lot of people really desperately want to be the front man for a lot of things, but like, but I think me and you don't really care.
Yeah, it's like whoever takes the lead for whatever. It's like
it's like there's not really much like desire to be like,
we're in competition.
I'm the one running.
It's like I don't really care for that, and I think like like you said, like collaboration is the way forward. Like I think because it's like everything at the minute is so oversaturated. But like, so it's hard to like stand out
for sure.
But and I think like in terms of like the UK, people look towards London constantly.
Yeah.
Maybe Manchester.
Yeah.
But and obviously like Bristol is its own like little hub, but I still think it needs to break out a bit. And I think even just like for like Raw Coffee, like obviously this is like a long way down the line, but to have that kind of be like the little magnet of like all the creatives being like, yeah, have you heard of Raw Coffee? I want to work with them. Yeah. And like for it to not be like working for Raw Coffee, like working with us.
Exactly.
Like I just don't want to be like, I don't think we want to be perceived as some kind of like masterminds that are like, make money off of you. Like no, like if you want to make something cool, like shout me.
Exactly. That's such a better atmosphere.
I
you just want to work with that, don't you?
No, 100%. And I feel like there's such a need for it, and it's why we started this. And why we want to sit down with anyone who wants to have a conversation.
Definitely.
You know, similar sort of concept, but I feel like somewhere like Bristol is so wonderful in its opportunity, but lacks unity. And like I don't know, in a weird way, it's kind of like, obviously there's loads of different groups out there that are doing their thing at the moment, and there are, you've got like different events companies that collaborate and do other things. It's not saying it doesn't exist here, and there is a great creative scene. But I think there isn't a huge amount that unifies. So, I think more and more we're pushing generally, and I've talked to different people and their own sort of ideas of how they can collaborate and be creative with other people. More and more people want to be in a collective or be in a creative group, because to be honest, no one can financially do it by themselves. No one wants to really at this point, because you're having an uphill battle, and working with your best mate or working with people that you trust and love is like it's so perfect. So no, good on you. And I feel like that's going to be potentially something really big.
We hope so, man. Thank you.
The idea's fucking sick.
Thank you. Well, I think that's why I was so drawn to this. Like, because it like you said, it literally is just like, you're creative and we want to talk to you, and that's cool. Using it as like a foundation, like
that's exactly what we've been waiting for. It's just like to hear from someone else.
And someone that's like further ahead as well. It's really cool.
Look at that, mate.
I don't know how miles
well, the lanes.
That's true. But like this is like probably like the first of many collaborations, hopefully.
Hopefully, well, definitely,
We're networking on a podcast.
We're already
this
here.
isn't even for the audience. This is just for us.
This is literally like
we're locked in now.
I like, the thing is like moving to like a city and stuff like that, and like being here for a reason. It's like sometimes I'll find myself being like, I do video and photo. If you ever want video or photo, just like, here's my Instagram, take it. It's like really shamelessly speaking to people like, you're cool, do you want to make something? Like, like, but that's kind of what you gotta do.
I mean,
it's all you can do there, isn't
it? And also I think generally people want to feel like, someone's interested in them. And the only way, when I was doing event stuff, the only way I did it was I would go to people and just be like, I fucking love your stuff, and I, I'm not lying, like I do love that stuff, and I want to be the
genuine enthusiasm.
And and that's the thing. It's like I more gravitate to, in terms of events and stuff, I more gravitate to people that I actually want to work with, and not just see it as like a transaction.
Like that's what it kind of felt like. I'd say like at a certain point when we were doing event work, it went from being we both like on both sides, we were like, oh, we really like messing with each other.
So
I
like
like,
you,
we're
like
being
me.
paid to go to shoot something. And then it's like,
that's
the
end of that creative process.
It's
just like I do work, you give me money.
And that's kind of like, that was a bit sad, like when it got to that point. But right now we're on the up.
Get on.
No, amazing.
It's actually interesting that you say that about the like going from like working with people and like enjoying that process, and then going from like a transactional situation. I wanted to ask, like, I don't know how many like things you've done for events or clients, but like what's that relationship like with the client? Like, is it like quite transactional quite a lot of the time, or do you try and aim for people that you actually enjoy being with, so it doesn't feel like it's just I'm doing a job for you?
Well, I think it's kind of like the people. The first ever client thing we did was for a guy called Irish Mellow, and we kind of ran into him before. We really liked him. He was a cool guy.
That was the night we went out.
Yeah, that was the first night when we
Perfect.
decided to do things,
Yeah.
which was really cool. And yeah, for him, like when we would do stuff for him, that wasn't more like a transaction. That was very much like, I enjoy doing this, you enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
But I think somewhere down the line, it I think for the bigger names, there's more of it's more transactional, and that's not to like shit on anyone. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Like because
it's professional, isn't it?
It's a product at the end.
It's like when like, I've worked with people that have had like thousands of like followers and stuff like that, and like it's sorry, and but yeah, I've had
That's right. It's done now.
I've worked with people that have had like big followings, and I think the bigger they are, it feels more transactional. But I still, I think they still make the time to speak to each other, and we still can have that like a nice relationship. But I feel like the smaller it is, the more easier it is to feel like I'm just chatting to a guy who does music and not like chatting to
and then you're helping
the music
out.
man.
Or like their management instead.
Yeah.
Sharing a conversation with the artist, the person you want to collaborate with.
Which is really nice. But I mean, I like having a bit of a relationship with people before we do something, just because then it feels like not so like business. Like,
I know, but come on, there's no way to stop the heartbreak. What do you do about that?
You cry. You cry.
So beforehand we were talking about Raw Coffee, your production, well, not production company, but production umbrella term. So, but you also referenced how you both do music. So has meeting each other at uni and like getting to know each other, has that influenced your musical styles and like your musical taste and like the way you approach making your own music as well? Like what's the background of your music first, and then can you talk about how you...
Well, I'll speak just quick. My kind of background in music, like the stuff that I listen to and the stuff that I make are like kind of similar. Like I'm very like into like old like soul and stuff like that. Obviously like hip hop, kind of just like everything. I know that's the most boring way to say it. Literally like soul, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, and then you got like I like the indie folk kind of stuff like Adrian Lenker and stuff like that, and and then Mos Def, Mobb Deep, like that kind of stuff. But I in terms of my own like music making, it's more more like Adrian Lenker.
Interesting.
And then like Neil Young.
That's a nice little combo there.
That's good.
I was gonna say, I don't think necessarily our styles have changed. Like as in, obviously the way I've approached music is different now that we're basically locked in with that. And I feel like it's more to do with where we both stand. Like what works best for us to cross when it comes to music. Like that's what we've been doing at the moment, is trying to just find what works. Because there was that period of time where we've been like making music, like we've been like in the room, but it's not really gone anywhere just because of how I've gone into it and how you've gone into it. But I feel like we're getting closer to the point where in the near future that's going to be a thing that's going to happen.
I feel that if we were to make something now, it'd probably more be like a
more soulful and
like more like neo soul, kind of like 2000s like R&B kind of thing. Like we're very like huge on like Erykah Badu. Like we're going to watch her in London soon. On Sunday.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So like Erykah Badu kind of stuff. In terms of the stuff that we want to collaborate on, would be Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, Raphael Sadiq, D'Angelo.
We could talk about D'Angelo.
We won't. But Voodoo's my favorite album of all time. So but that's kind of our stuff. But Yeah, I mean, at the minute I'm working on like an EP that should be coming out on Friday.
No, amazing.
And then
Is that within like the folk? Like,
yeah,
aspect
a
you're
lot of it
about?
is covers at the minute. I've got there's a King Cruel cover on there.
Nice.
Neil Young, Harvest Moon.
That's
I love that song.
It's
So
such
much.
a beautiful song.
Yeah, that one's dedicated to my mum.
No,
because
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
beautiful.
I think of my mum when I hear that song.
Yeah.
And then I've got one original one there, which is my first original,
Nice.
which is cool because originals are really like weird to write, but I think it's like
I think for your first original though, when you played it to me, I thought it was a cover. Like
Right.
the- not even to sound like you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's
Sorry.
Cut that.
Technical difficulties. Okay.
that's embarrassing.
That is
Oh,
embarrassing.
guys, cut.
I think you were already so heavily invested in it to the point where it works. Like it just instantly worked for you to start writing music.
Yeah.
Which is where I think is some way that you can take like that the creativity and put it to paper with that. With that.
Well, I think like with like everything that I make, it's kind of a reflection of how I'm feeling at the time. It's just like there's not much more to it
That's
than that.
music though.
Yeah, and that's music. That's the same with like when I was saying earlier about like with like the normal people and stuff like that. Like heavily like relate to that kind of area of media, and like I like that. I feel that I relate to that. I want to make something like that, and then stuff with like say like like Harvest Moon or like there's I'm trying to remember what the other songs are. Ooh, it don't matter. But yeah, that kind of area is like how I'm feeling at the minute.
Yeah.
So I want to make something that kind of reflects that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but it speaks speaks wonders to the fact that if you've got quite an established style, like I've played in a few bands, I've done a few things like musically, and I've always gone back to like my influences.
Yeah.
And because I'm so dead set in my music taste.
Yeah.
I am, I do listen to other things, but famously in our Friendship group, I like a certain type of music. And that's kind of it.
Only listen to
Well, okay, the slap bass.
Yeah, the slap bass.
Henry's gonna enjoy this one.
It's getting a little bit too much. And I think, if you're writing and you're doing original stuff, like I think it's interesting you say that how you listen to it. Well, that sounds like a cover.
Yeah,
it's because you probably are like so solidified in what you love.
You
draw so much inspiration, and that's an amazing sign and a good thing, in the creative process.
Yeah, if you don't have like a certain genre or even a song in mind, like when you make a song, I feel like you don't get anywhere.
Right.
I feel like you have to have some sort of.
Well, I think for the chords for like the my original is, I hate saying this, it's pretty much a rip off of
Don't say that.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
We're gonna bleep that part out. It's fine.
It's very similar chords to there we go to this Faye Webster song. Yeah, really love Faye Webster's music. I met her the other day, which was really cool. Yeah, after the concert, that was so cool. Yeah, and then I went home and then recorded that. Like that.
Literally that same night.
But that's also a reflection. Night. That's also like you're saying, like as like how you feel is what you make, and that's proof in the
concept.
Literally, the fact is just like you get inspired and like you're so inspired. Like that evening, you're like, I want to create the same kind of music. I'm loving it. And that's insane.
And I think like even like with I kind of feel like like with like my own music, and then like with kind of like the films I make, they're kind of like I like to think that like the music I make could soundtrack the films I make, because it's like it's quite like I don't know anything about music production, or I play guitar. That's it. I play guitar, I record the guitar, I sing over the guitar, I mix it a bit, mix it, and then cause it sounds quite gritty, quite like quite shitty, but
that's not shitty. I'm not talking about shitty. But like
that's the style.
Yeah, that is you. Yeah. Like, that's how you're wanting to.
Yeah, and I think that's similar to the whole like. The reason I like the whole like camcorder aesthetic is because it feels like real.
Yeah,
it feels like
authentic.
Yeah, and that's like why. Again, I know I've been like saying it so much, but normal people, like watching that feels like intrusive.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels very like. Yeah, there's some scenes in the film where you're like, or the series where you're like,
you shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, this is like I'm just like walked in to someone's life, but that's what I love. Like that's what I want to.
It's
like,
so incredibly like authentic and intimate and like emotive as a result of that. Because you feel like this should be behind closed doors.
Yeah.
That's really good, man.
And then for you, have you got music on the way, or is it, and also, I don't know, because we were chatting just now, we were sort of saying how, you've produced and you've done other things.
Yeah.
What's that process like for you, and do you work together on that as well, maybe?
It's been kind of, I've treated music as like a rainy day thing.
Right, okay.
Where it's like time to myself, there's nothing to do. I basically just lock in on that. And some days I'll see like a vision of what I want to make, and then that will get like blurred over time. But I want to get like a solid project out, even if it's just instrumental. Like I would want to incorporate you into that process as well, like both ways around. Like just to say that I've done, like, it's just been something that I've wanted to tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not been my forefront. So picking that up is definitely something that I want to do. In the near future, but it's more of like a rainy day thing at the moment.
Well, the stuff that you've been playing me at the minute has been very like Silk Sonic-y, inspired.
Nice.
It's been very, it's been very like buttery music. It's not been like
one track sounded like an offcut of Thriller.
That was
really cool.
That was fun to make. Like
that's interesting.
Which has been very like different from what I've heard from you before, which is really cool.
But it's also weird because I played you like I do it like in like folders. I'm like that day the songs I made, and I'll play it and it will just be all over the place, which is where like the whole idea of making a project has kind of been like, I'm not sure, because it's like I've not got this whole like solidified idea.
It doesn't feel like there's like a run through of everything that's
it's been kind of like, Kai, what do you think of that? Guy, what do you think of that? But 100% think that there's going to be some music on the way. Hopefully both of us.
Brilliant.
Also, it sounds like with the films and things you do as well, like you said, like incorporating your own music into like the films you make and things like that, and like creating this entire, I don't know, creative universe of like of the things you're doing. I think I love the
films that
the idea of that.
We had that the film that we're wanting to make. I think that's going to be the first project that we put out. Which one's that? The one. The cafe, and I'll say the cafe, but it all came from a song.
Right.
It was the song, and then the film was the second.
Interesting. So do you really have like a synergy with music and film?
Definitely.
And it's like
100%.
that is the
interesting.
Well, I think that's really interesting you said that. I've never thought about that. But like, I think like cause I'm not really much of a director myself. I think you're much more of a director than I am. But like
maybe.
But
I think we're very. I think when we're together, we're directors.
Right,
when we're not working together.
We're more cinematographers. But I think I hear a song, especially like with the cafe one. I won't say too much about it, but with the cafe one, heard a song, and like wrote just like this happens, and then but it's also cool because you have like a lot of like my favorite movies. I'll hear a song from it, and like I'll hear a song and that was in and then I'll like remember the whole movie and like how it made me feel and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool. I think like like music and film are so like intertwined. I think it's really cool, and like being like, obviously I'm better at making films than I'm making music, but to get like the music up to that point would be really cool as well.
100%.
I think also like being like at home, like when I was still in college, a lot of my friends were in the music course, and I've got one friend who goes under the name of Clouby. He's worked with like Nico B.
That's fucking joke.
He's worked with a guy called UK rapper called Blanco and stuff like that, and he's it's really cool like chopping it up with him, talking about his like perspective and stuff like that. So shouts out to Clouby. And then the guy I'm living with next year, Tensei or Theo from home, he's same thing, very very talented guy.
Promising.
So it sounds like you've got a good like not entourage is the wrong word because like they're just following you around.
Yeah, just
but
a
like,
circle of like, people. Yeah.
Yes, man.
Yeah,
You just like,
yeah,
like
my
a really good, like,
security.
but like the networking like community you're building currently, it just seems like you're setting yourselves up for a very good direction to go down.
Yeah, thank you. I
100%.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it, and it links to everything that you guys have talked about, and the fact that you want to create this sort of collaborative company and also work collaboratively, creatively. But the best way to start is to be surrounded by people that are.
Yeah.
And the majority of the time, like, we're really fortunate, a bunch of our mates are musicians and producers and stuff, and
very lucky.
like all of them are just insane, and you draw so much inspiration, and half the time people have been working together, like James and Will worked together on their latest track, and you know, and it's just such a lovely connective experience. And I think the general gist of all of this and what
Everyone's
we do and
busy.
what you got, you know,
Yeah.
everyone wants to work together, everyone's busy, but it's lovely. Like it truly is. Like, again, I think the positive of somewhere like Bristol, it's small enough that is something that's quite commonplace.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, I don't know what it's like in Manchester or London, for example, but there's a bit more disparity, and you sort of have to actively seek it. Whereas you could go to a gig and, as you two
Bump
did,
into,
and you've settled into something that could be years and years of work, which is like really exciting. So yeah, definitely.
I think it's cool, like, with having like a bunch of creatives together and stuff like that. It's also been like a big thing in my head for not seeing people as competition.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like, because that's a big thing that I've needed to do, like move into Bristol. Like back in my hometown, there was only a couple people that made things, and like my little like 17-year-old ego was like, I'm gonna be better than you. But now it's like, I really like your stuff. Let's work together, and let's not like, I don't want to like put myself up by putting you down or like proving that I'm better than you. It's that's something that I've dropped completely, which I'm very grateful to have done.
Also, it just feels better like when you like raise yourself through raising others, and like vice versa. It's just like we're both fucking
there's only a payoff. It's
exactly.
It's not gonna like go south if you're all rooting for each other. In the end goal, it's like if you see that person succeed, it's not gonna be like this.
It's like
awful. Yeah. I think there's that's a difficult thing in the creative world, and something that I've struggled with in the past. I was very similar back in the day. I think it really sucks because it's so dog eat dog. Sort of, you know, like everyone's trying their best, and there is a lack of unity in lots of different forms. But at the same time, there's these amazing pockets, and I think a growing sort of sensation of people working together collaboratively, and then not putting that ego first and being way more interested in just like an output. You know, being like, well, we did this together and we made something, we're all proud of each other. That's it's something that's in, like for time has been like a thing, and it's kind of within our nature. So it's really hard to like initially get out of that headspace, but once you are, and you're working together and you're having fun, and you're like, wow, this person just actually got picked up from it. I'm so proud of them because like we did it together. It's not like, shit, well, I'm out of the game now.
Exactly.
That's a lovely synergy. So,
I think that's why I'm so excited for Raw Coffee, because it's like I'm not seeing it as like we're gonna take them and then we're gonna use them and we're gonna make money and we're gonna keep them. No, it's like it's not even thinking about money. It's just like, I like you. Do you want to come work with us? Yeah. That's as far as it goes. Let's make something cool.
100%.
That's the way it should be, man.
Yeah, it's the way it should be.
It's the way it should be. It's the way it could be. It's the way it will.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think, you know, like if going forward as well, so in the coming months, and you know, the sort of direction, because again, we're also talking to you at a stage which like some things are forming and some things are already formed, which is kind of an interesting time, because a lot of the stuff we've done so far, it's people that have that established thing completely, and they're there to talk about it. But it's a really interesting dynamic. I feel this one where we're talking about something which is in development. And in so many different ways. Like, you guys are doing so many different things. You know, in the coming months for both of you or individually, what can we expect and what are we looking for? Or like, the timeline isn't specific.
Well, I think definitely expect
Raw Coffee is going to be
Raw
up.
Coffee.
It's gonna,
just the video side of that especially.
I think I'm watching that.
The bloody hoverflies come back again.
It's a wasp.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just gotta
cleaning
ignore
up.
that.
Are we able to mic him up? Or?
I don't want to spank him, but I'm gonna have to kill him.
It'll be
Really,
alright.
He's gonna find. He's gonna find.
Yeah,
something.
he's out.
There we go.
Anyways,
Okay.
yeah.
So lads,
was fun.
what was the question again?
Yeah, what to expect
yeah,
from
that's
us in
it,
the next
thank you
couple
very
of
much.
months.
I say that Coffee House will
Raw coffee.
Raw coffee.
That was the old name.
That
Coffee
was the
House is
old
actually
name.
a business. That's actually
Yeah. That's also a thing. We were thinking like, have we kind of like made something that's got like a TM on it? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
got a name.
yeah, like-
that's the
Yeah.
story.
But we with Raw Coffee we were with Raw Coffee we're gonna set that up like pretty much within the next few months. By the time we're back for September,
Yeah.
I think that's when we're going to start, because within the second year as well we're going to be getting external work. So
Yeah.
I think that'd be the
push on
perfect
that.
time to bring that out. So
hit
then
the ground running.
yeah, because within the uni and everything, I don't think there's going to be a lot, if anyone, who have been setting up like
Yeah.
a production company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's what actually setting it up, and then adverts as well. We were talking.
Yeah. I think a lot of advertisements something we want to go into, like but not that sense of like this is the product.
Yeah.
Like, I like adverts when you don't know you're being
Yeah, yeah.
advertised
It's
to.
almost
But
like little shorts with little stories. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
little
Yeah, I
content.
think for me as well, something that I want to do is like sink my teeth back into short films. You know, like I said, I want to make something that it's back into the kind of like normal people, like you know, like retelling stories. I think that's something that we want to get into. And musically, I'm not really sure. I think we're more focused on the film making side of things at the minute.
Yeah,
But films, man.
we're just trying to get as many thumbs and pies as we
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do. You've got to be. It's gonna sound like a backhanded compliment, but like you've got to be unrealistic about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're gonna achieve things greater than you can.
Yeah.
ever hope for.
Exactly.
Like you
yeah.
need to be as ambitious as you can be and try things.
Yeah.
And then like, you're bound to fail at some of them, but that's
Yeah,
that's
of
what
course.
happens.
You may as well
obviously.
try it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd
And
rather
know.
try and fail than never try and like
Exactly.
inevitably fail because you haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I think something immediately to expect is Make Wise Great Again.
make wise.
That
great
should
again.
be out either the
Week or
31st
two.
of May or the 7th
Yeah.
of June.
Okay. Cool.
Well,
So, yeah.
depending on when it comes out, we'll plug it in.
You'll plug it,
Exactly.
plug it in
Yeah.
thingy.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It'll be wicked.
yeah,
I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah,
it
sure,
sounds like
right.
fun.
Yeah.
Like, so how long is that? Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
2 minutes if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Very
quick.
short.
It's just like
Very
one
short.
person in
Yeah.
acting the whole time.
Yeah, 2 people
Two
acting.
people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get on.
Yeah. That's gonna be really cool. And I
Yeah.
think there's definitely, I feel like there's a need, a creative need, or I don't know how you would put it, but audiences, I think, want stuff that isn't just like the AI generated texts and you know
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
just the
Reddit
flip
stories,
exactly
Yeah.
like
Am I the asshole? For
yeah. Like we
Reddit.
we know it so well now, and that format is so done,
Yeah.
and it's like even on Reels, you know, it's just so generic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of the time it is created by AI or bots.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but it always stands out to me when I see something original.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing that like keeps me hopeful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like whenever I'm flicking through something and then I see it, and I'm like, shit, whoa, that's like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
definitely different and made by someone because
Yeah.
it's completely original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the shorts and those sort of things is a really good move.
Mm.
And you know, these short films as well would be amazing.
Yeah.
Still within the attention span of most people on social
Yeah.
media, but also
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that's kind of the thing at the minute, trying to find that perfect sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
We're in a weird situation with where film is at the moment.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Massively.
Like,
people's attention spans have just like shrunk.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's why like this like Make Wise Great Again is going to be so like quick and choppy, like because
Yeah.
you have to consider that people at the minute like they're just
yeah.
Yeah. so it's hard to keep that attention span. But I think that's why I'm so grateful that like you know you guys are doing a podcast,
Yeah.
and like people still listen to things.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
still, and that's why I kind of want to get back into like short films, like slow burners. You know,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that people are going to sit and they're going to watch and they're going to have the payoff, and not being like flash,
Yeah,
big
give it
text,
to me immediately,
Subway
yeah.
Surface at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to get back.
You got to give people
Yeah.
a reason.
Exactly.
I also
This is the
think like whenever I come across something that's like completely separate to like just the regenerative reels and shit I get.
Yeah.
When I see something that's like, oh, 5 seconds in, I have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah.
I find that more captivating than just being like, oh, am I the arsehole? Like saying like, oh, this is a completely different tone switch. What the hell's going on here? I mean, that's what captivates me to stay invested, rather than like AI voices coming in. Like, I can't believe this. Like, those things just like break you out of like your trance you're in almost. Like, oh, actually, what's going on here? Rather than just like absorbing information.
Look, a real person.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
I mean, it sounds like you've got some really exciting things on the way, and you know, big ups for even at this stage in that creative process to be like working on so much. The best thing I ever did, and I'm sounding like I know what I'm fucking doing. I don't, and I'm still trying. Is just try as many things as possible. And particularly in those like beginning years of uni, and then where we're at now, you just establish so much more, and you feel a lot more confident. And you know, we fuck up. You'll all fuck up, and like it's going to be intense, but it's a part of it.
You should fuck up as well.
You should,
definitely.
If
you don't, then like
if you don't fuck up, you're doing something wrong.
To cap off, because we're almost done. What, you know, I mean, we kind of already brushed over what is coming out. But if there's, first of all, like your social media plugs, and then like where people can find your stuff and where they can look for it, and then anything that's of note, that you want to shout out.
I'll go first.
Oleg
on Instagram.
We'll have these in the description as well.
That'll be and I've got a channel, like at the moment just a personal channel. I upload like whatever I've been working on. Earle's films on YouTube. So that's about it.
We've got my EP coming out. Well, first of all, Kairan and Earle on Instagram.
What's the EP going to be called as well?
EP is called My Mum Says I'm Handsome.
That is a great.
That's a gorgeous thing.
That'll be out this Friday, which 24th.
Nice.
It
should be out by the time this comes out. So
hopefully.
After this, listen to it.
If I don't push it back or anything. That, and then Make Wise Great Again. Big ups to Dan Markey.
Get on.
And obviously, keep an eye out for Raw Coffee.
Keep an eye on Raw Coffee. Raw Coffee as well. That's about everything.
No, really appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks so much,
it's been lovely.
Thank you so much.
Keen to see what happens next.
Keen to work again.
Exactly. Let's go.
Nice one.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Give it a like, follow, subscribe. I haven't said that once in all the episodes.